Welcome to the Psychic and the Doc, and welcome to our fantastic show that all of you orchestrate. This is our live call-in show, and you're going to get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But what you will get mostly from us is the big digital hug and a lot of love. You're the best listening audience on the planet, and we know it. Mark, we got a lot going on today. Psychic lawyer.
We do. And I'm really looking forward to this show. Yeah. And, you know, Dr. Pat, I know that you wanted to talk about something
I do.
Before. Yep. So I will yield the floor to my esteemed colleague, the one and only Dr. Pat.
Well, it comes on the heels of our article being, what is the language now, dropped? And Best Holistic Life magazine. And, you know, while we celebrate all of that, I am struck and yet heartbroken. I am so taken aback and sad about Ellen DeGeneres. Well, first of all, she did announce that the 19th season will be her last. She did a great interview this morning that I got to watch, which I thought was super painful to watch. And, you know, and yet she was very, very honest about it. And, you know, one of the things, Mark, that I know is that, you know, she and I kind of tapped into this arena around the same time. And while we did that, we both pretty much had parallel paths and how it came about and, you know, certain things in our personal life. And we also ran into similar problems. I did not run into them quite the way that she did because I'm not Ellen. And yet for her and her comment today, which was so telling, you know, she is a powerful woman. You know, she has done more to the world, the LGBTQ world, but also beyond all of that, the most generous person. But her comment today, I hope we can share the ripple effect of it, because she talked about the 4 months, brutal 4 months she went through in the media and basically the tabloids, if I might say, because very little of it, you know, kind of made sense to people, where they talked about a press cycle, and in her words, that was orchestrated and misogynistic. And that is so true. I mean, her comments were made that if this were a guy's show, would people be talking about a toxic work relationship, or would it just be, yeah, just man up? And we've been watching this now quite a bit. But with Ellen, you could tell this really hit her hard. You can hit her hard. And I thought about this for a little bit about myself. And I thought about, where I am and the standards I have for our network. And some people will look at me and say, man, she's got some tough standards. This is something she wants to achieve. And I often think about that. And the other thing about this, Mark, is, this is not the first time in the press cycles we've heard of this. We heard it with Amy Klobuchar and her run for the presidential
Yeah, yeah, we
nomination
did.
for the Democratic Party. And all of a sudden, we're looking at Amy and we're being like, she's tough. Well, damn, of course she's tough. She's getting things done. But I don't know why we don't hear that often enough about our male counterparts. And so her statement this morning, albeit the least thing she said, it was very hard to watch her. It was very hard to know what that pain must have felt like for somebody that is so kind and generous. And yet here she is. She didn't have to come back. And so today, when I put the episode in, and the episode today is called Questions and Answers, and this is about movement at the speed of light. How can we move at the speed of light and do that without resilience? And I think this is really a platform and the new frontier for women that plan to be successful in the world. What kind of armor do you need to grow? What are some of the things that you're going to be faced with? Do you know how to navigate those waters? Will you be blindsided? Right? I mean, the third most powerful person in the United States has been called more B and C names than you can imagine. And I think probably because they don't like her jewelry. I tend to like Nancy Pelosi's jewelry, just saying. But here we are. So today's show is about getting answers to questions that people don't want to ask or are afraid to ask. Because if we don't rip the veil off the taboo of the truth of who we are, and we don't allow a platform for us to be heard, I'm not sure where we're going to go in the world.
But Ellen was a trailblazer, and I remember when her show, the sitcom, and when she came out on the show, and then it got canceled, and it looked like that was the end of her career. And then she did the Ellen Show, which is now wrapping up. And the thing is, whenever anyone is a trailblazer, whenever anyone sets the trends, whenever they take the plunge, there's always flack, there's always resistance. Not only was she a woman, but she was an openly out woman. And she also made people not afraid of her sexuality. She did. She did a stint at the Academy Awards when she walks up and Martin Scorsese sitting there. And she's got this script. She goes, "Oh, Martin Scorsese," and she hands him the script. "Would you mind looking at this?" She goes, "Can I get a picture with you?" And she hands her camera to Steven Spielberg and says, "Do you know how to use this?" I mean, that wasn't planned. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling that we're only seeing one chapter in the Ellen book closing, and there's going to be more chapters because she's far too creative and ingenious to let this be the end of her career. And also, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons that she's leaving, but it's a lot of hard work. I mean, you know that better than anybody, Dr. Pat. I mean, not only are you doing this show, but you're doing the Dr. Pat show, and you're the
Mm-hmm.
head of the Transformation Network,
Mm-hmm.
which for people who just tuned in is immensely successful.
Mm-hmm.
It's global. It's positive talk radio. It reaches every English speaking country in the world, and it's a lot of work. I mean, I
Yeah.
look what you know the what I do in the production end of this, in addition to the other projects, because it's more than just let's turn on the camera and take calls from listeners. Yeah, it's what people. That's what people think. I remember when I was practicing law, this guy came in my office. He goes, "I don't know why I pay you lawyers. I mean, you got all the forms in the word processor." It's like, yeah, but the word processor doesn't go to court. It doesn't know the judge. It doesn't know the prosecutor, and it doesn't know how to keep your patukas out of jail. So there's a lot more to being in the public eye than just when you're in the public
Yeah.
eye. And I think, maybe, yeah, it's sad, but maybe this is going to give Ellen time to do some more creative projects, and maybe she needs a break.
I think we say that. I think there are times we say that, but I think we say it more for women than men. I don't really know when a man gets like this kind of treatment that we say maybe maybe Steven Spielberg needed a break and so he can reflect. But the thing that was shocking, and this is really why this show today is called The Questions, that so many people are afraid. When Savannah Guthrie asked her this morning, hey, what did it feel like? Did it feel like she was being canceled? Ellen responded, I really didn't understand it. I still don't understand it. It was too orchestrated. Of course, it was orchestrated. One of the most popular venues in talk radio. I mean, I think people have tried to take her down with tabloids about her personal life. What was left was to try to talk about her toxic environment when every guest that had ever been on her show, it would be like saying that to us when every report we get from any guest, from any host we get, is accolades for the team, to all of a sudden say, oh, that Jessica, I mean, it was so blindsided. So, what do we learn from something like this? What can we learn from something like this? I'll tell you what I learned from something like this. I should have stood up sooner and louder for her. That's what I'm learning about myself. That's what I'm learning about the world that I live in and the torch that I carry. And when I go to my meditation every day, Mark, and I sit down for my 30 seconds and I ask God, Spirit, Mary, whoever you are out there, what is mine to do today? Relentlessly the same answer for the past 11 years. More. You need to do more. And that is really an interesting answer. So today's show is very important for the audience. We're going to go straight through. If we need to go right through, we're going to skip the rest of the breaks because we need to help people get answers so that they are not blindsided in their life, so that there is a way for people to understand the dynamic of what's going on, for them to know that even after the show, Mark, they can call you. They can get on your radar or your calendar. I think they can get on your calendar or get your book, or connect with you. But this show we do has to be of service of our listeners. That has to be our primary focus.
It is. And earlier, Dr. Pat, you mentioned the article that you and I co-wrote for Best Holistic Life magazine. And Best Holistic Life magazine, we've had the editor, Jana Short, on the show a couple times, and she's a good friend to the show, to us. And normally, Best Holistic Life is a quarterly magazine, but this was a special Mother's Day issue, which came out on Mother's Day this last Sunday, but not just a Mother's Day issue, it's a manifestation issue, special manifestation. And so Dr. Pat and I co-wrote an article about a two-step process about manifesting, and there's several other holistic and health influencers that have written other articles. And I highly recommend all of our listeners subscribe to Best Holistic Life. It's a free online publication. It doesn't cost you a thing because the revenue is generated by the advertisers. And all you have to do is go to bestholisticlife.com, bestholisticlife.com. And when you go there, it'll say, get the issue, and just go ahead and fill that out, because it's really important to understand manifesting. We all want a miracle, but if you just sit there hoping for one, I'm a firm believer, and I know you are too, Dr. Pat, because this is why you created the Transformation Network, is God helps those who help themselves. You can sit there all day and wish for a miracle, or you can say, okay, God, guide me, and then make it happen. And that's what manifestation is.
Yeah. Grandmama Bolella used to say, yeah, I know you want the spaghetti and the meatballs, talking to my grandfather. I know you want them. Get up and make them. Make them yourself. I'm too busy. When we come back, we're going to talk about this. Questions, answers, and your manifestation mojo. That's in the article, everybody. Let's take a really, really short break. When we come back, Darlene, Shauna, everybody, we're kicking it up. We'll be right back.
The kind of programming we provide transcends politics, transcends religious beliefs. And so from that, we came up with a vision to create something called the new mainstream talk radio.
Transformation Talk Radio.
Transformation Talk Radio.
Anywhere around the world.
This is it. The energy of heart to heart, mind to mind, love to love. These are the questions that people have and rarely state. When we have an internal transformation and we see things differently, what does it mean to step into the full nature of being a spiritual being? How am I to be? This is it. Every day you have to do something outrageously positive. It is so absolutely relevant, because what I've seen in humanity, despite what's in the headlines, I'm so struck by the heroes that have come forward. I'm just absolutely in awe. The idea generators and superheroes. All of you, you are the best listening audience in the world, and we are bringing it in 2021. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Hey, you're listening to The Psychic and the Doc. And, every show we do, we like to start out and talk about things that are on our hearts. We've done that today. Now it is your turn. Mark, before we roll on, I know we get rolling here. For me, just go to the drpatshow.com or Transformation Talk Radio. For you, these are short readings. These are not full sessions with Mark. So how do people get on your calendar?
I'm inviting everyone to visit my website, which is evidenceofeternity.com, which is just like my book, Evidence of Eternity. Sign up for my newsletter. That'll keep you up to date on not only the Psychic and the Doc, but other things I got going on, plus my new book, which is coming out in October, The Afterlife Frequency. And some of the concepts in the afterlife frequency I discussed on Gaia TV, Beyond Belief with George Norrie. That episode just dropped week before last. And the name of the episode is Quantum Leap to the Other Side with Mark Anthony. And that's on Gaia TV. And you can sign up for a one-on-one reading because I'm doing telephone readings.
Okay.
And that's at evidenceofeternity.com.
I like it. It's all in a nutshell. Talking about nutshells, let's go to Jessica. Who do we have, Jessica?
Yeah, sure thing. We've got Ionica from New York. Ionica, you're on with the Psychic and the Doc.
Hey, Ionica, welcome to the show. What can we do for you today?
Hi, Dr. Pat, and hi, Mark Anthony. I would like to ask you if I have some message from another side.
Okay. All right, Ionica. Thank you for calling in. Let me see. All right. Hold on. Wow, you got a lot of folks on the other side. It's like as soon as I heard the resonance of your voice, this whole group just showed up. And a female energy is stepping forward, and she has a very maternalistic feel to you. Now, when I say maternalistic, that doesn't always mean your mother. This could mean an aunt or grandmother that you were very, very close to. But I want to work with her. Ow. Okay, when I'm saying ow, spirits project to me physical sensations, and I'm feeling what would have been her breasts burning. And like the nipples, the breasts. So this could indicate that she may have been having some serious problems with her breast. Could be breast cancer. And I'm getting pains now shooting down my entire spinal column and my ribs in my back. So this is indicating to me that her passing took time. It was a debilitating, deteriorating decline. And what I get, Ionica, is that she was still sharp right up till the very end. She put up a good fight against this. Didn't seem like she wanted to drink a lot of water toward the end because I keep seeing her pushing water away. So water may have been an issue. Does any of this resonate with you? Does any of this make sense to you?
Yes, it makes sense. Absolutely correct.
All right, let's see what she has to say to you. Do you like little dogs? She keeps showing little dogs, like little Scotties and little Yorkshire Terriers.
I'm not allowed to have dogs in the building, but I love dogs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You love dogs, right? Even though you're not allowed to have them in the building, right?
Yes.
You still love the little dog, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I love dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's an issue. So she's around, she's aware of what's going on with you. Hold on. She said lately you've been very pensive. Okay, pensive, pensive. Now look, COVID, finances, vaccinations, everybody's uptight. But she said you've been very pensive, but not about that stuff. She said that you're so worried about making the right choices, and this is interesting. She keeps showing all these grocery bags loaded with fresh fruits and vegetables, and she's talking about you thinking that you need to move. So there, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to move, but there's this thing going on with you about moving. But I keep seeing all the, you know how the paper grocery bags, and when they got celery and the vegetables, they have that smell. Yeah, I'm just smelling that, and it smells good. Does any of this make sense to you?
Yes, because when I'm going to the supermarket, yes, I do have, yeah. But I'm not moving nowhere.
Okay, are you contemplating or thinking of some type of change in your environment? Because what she's telling me is that don't be afraid to make the change.
I'm not afraid, but I don't want to move nowhere because the rent is going so high, and I can't afford to move nowhere.
Okay. Dr. Pat, this is an interesting message because it's one that involves change.
Yep.
Now, at first blush, it seems like it's a change in her environment, but it may not be an actual move. It could be a change in her environment. What's your take on this?
Here's my take. Can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
Hey, what part? You're in New York, right?
I live in Queens.
Queens. Okay, right across from where I was from in the Bronx, right? We'll compare pizza.
And you know the area where is Woodside.
I do. here's the question I have, and it's really a simple one, and you don't have to answer it on air, but would you please think about this question?
Yes.
What are you longing to do that either you're afraid to do or you don't think you can do?
I don't think I can do it because the rent is so higher, and I'm not gonna have money to pay, and I have.
I know, but I'm just asking you what the thing is. Don't worry about that because I'm not saying for you to do it. I'm a real practical kind of kid. I'm a little street smart kid, but there is something in your heart that you want to do.
Like
Yep.
a B6, big.
Yep.
Yeah, I will do that. But other than that, I don't have money to go nowhere, and I'm afraid. And what I'm going to do with the job and everything, I want to keep my job, to have
Yep.
my money. My
Yep.
son, he's with me. He's living with me. He don't work, and
That's what we're talking about. That's what I needed to get to right there. See, because look, we're never going to tell you to move or sell your house or do this, but there's an energy of you wanting something.
pay rent.
Don't worry about it. I'm just interested in what's in your heart.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
What you're doing, you absolutely have to do right now. But I have one message for you, if you don't mind.
Yes, sure. I don't mind. Please.
Okay. Just stay where you are as long as you need to. But please don't give up on your desire. Don't give up on your dream. It may not be possible now. Let me tell you something. I never thought in a million years doing what I'm doing now, like in having a network, I never thought in a million years I would do this. I stuttered through my teenage years. It took me 5 minutes to answer a question. Never thought that this would be in my heart. So please hold this in your heart, okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for calling in. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you know, if I'm going to move, just if I'm going to win the money, some lottery, something like that, then I'm going to buy something, then I'm going to move. Other than that, I want to stay here.
You can stay right there, but I'm just saying to you, you got to let your heart talk to you. That's it. You can stay there.
Yeah.
You can do like me. I'm going to get my hair done, whatever that is. But I'm just saying, keep it in your heart. Don't shut your heart down because your material wall is saying, I cannot have it. Please don't do that.
Okay.
I never thought I'd get somebody like Jessica here. And look at her and Linda. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to keep going. Mark, you were right on right there.
Yeah, and I think what I was getting from what you were saying, Dr. Pat, is a change in environment doesn't mean moving. It's changing what's going on in your environment. Yeah. So
when we give
advice.
Up what's in our hearts, Mark, when we give up what's in our hearts, like let's say you would have given up writing this book that's coming out. Let's say whatever the walls of COVID-19 and this and that. I mean, I just got 2 knees, And, when you think about, never going to get it, shuts it down. Ms. Jessica.
Yeah, that's me. You ready for the next caller?
Yeah, I can't hear you very well. Speak up. Where'd you get all timid on us right here?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's take Brett from also New York. Brett from New York, you're on with the Psychic and the Doc.
Hey, Brett, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dr. Pat. So nice to meet you. We missed you last week.
Thank you. You got some great energy here. I can't wait till you ask your question.
Sure.
Okay, Brett, we're ready.
Hi, Mark. Nice to
Brett.
connect. Hi. I actually just finished Never Letting Go last week. And when I got to chapter 12 and chapter 13, it was just life-changing for me. So I just wanted to thank you for such an amazing book, and I'm really enjoying the show. So I listened all
That's
last
very
week.
kind.
And,
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for your kind words.
Yes. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. I don't really have a specific question. I lost my husband in November of 2020, and
Hold on.
I just
hold on.
I'm enlightened by.
Brett. When a medium says hold on, okay? Let's see if we can get him to come through, because I'm feeling his presence near you. Stand by. Okay, I'm getting this tingly shock sensation through my body. So that could indicate convulsions or seizures, but it could be a neurological condition as well. But what I'm getting about the male energy that's coming through for you, and this may not be your husband, it could be another male, but he feels like he's on your generational level, which would indicate a spouse. But I get this tingly sensation on my tongue. It's like when you take a 9-volt battery and stick it on your tongue. And what that indicates to me, that could be seizures, that could be a stroke, or that could be some type of convulsions. I'm also getting a very sour battery acid type taste in my mouth, which indicates to me when I get this metallic taste, this could mean a lot of medications with him. But the other thing is I'm smelling gunpowder. Did he carry guns or fire guns or work around guns or munitions at some point in his life?
No, he didn't. No guns or gunpowder. My father was into guns. My father transitioned in 2006. He was into guns and shooting and hunting. My husband not so much, but my dad definitely was, and my brother was, and my brother transitioned in 2007.
Right. Just for your benefit and the benefit of the callers, all you have to say is my dad was into guns, my brother was into guns. Please don't give me dates and places, because those are the type of things that a spirit might bring forward. So I very well may have your brother here.
There you go.
It's on your generational level. Okay. He said, don't worry, hubby's here. But what's with the neurological, the shock, the convulsions? Is that your brother or is that your husband?
That would probably be more my brother.
Okay. All right. In spirit communication, sometimes the person you want to hear from the most is not always the first one to come through. So in the one-on-ones, I got the time to spend the time. So we got your brother here. Let's see what he has to say. Hold on. He keeps giving me a time frame between, it's the Libra time frame, which would be roughly September 20th through October 20th. So he could be referencing significant births, deaths, anniversaries, or events, which may be connected to you or him or someone close to the two of you within the Libra time frame. Births, deaths, anniversaries, or events. This is really, really strong.
I mean, if I can add, if you don't mind adding a date, my husband passed on November 20th.
Right, but that's not the Libra time frame. I'm giving you September 20th through October 20th.
Yeah.
You know what?
My brother passed on October 27th.
Close enough. Okay.
Yeah, close enough, for sure.
Yes. Very
close
good.
enough. Okay. Now, he's obviously there with your husband. What's with you, or what's with the artificial sweetener? Artificial sweetener. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do your husband use it? Hate it? But I'm getting this whole artificial sweetener thing going on. There's got to be some significance to that.
That would have definitely been my brother, because my husband he was healthier, if you know what I mean. My brother was a little more unhealthy. My husband was healthier.
Okay, I know you're chomping at the bit to tell me everything. All right, so we got your brother here, but he wants you to know that he's with your husband, and they also know And this kind of goes without saying, that there isn't a day that goes by that you don't think of me. And this is coming from your husband. He also said that he feels that, are you a bit of a lead foot when you drive?
My husband?
You.
Me for sure. Oh my God! And he was a grandma driver, and I'm the lead
Yeah,
foot
I
driver.
also I
That's
felt
it.
like the reason I said lead foot is like I just feel like I need to really hit the accelerator. And so your husband
That
said,
is so funny.
he's like, hey babes, He goes, I love you, but let's slow down. I'll see you when you get here. Don't rush it.
Seriously. Oh, very funny. Yes, I'm kind of definitely that. I could see. Yeah, because when you're sitting in the car with somebody that's a grandma driver, i.e. my husband, and then you're just like, you know, but that's funny.
Yeah, so that's what he wants you to know is, and this is what I call, and then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Pat. This is what I call spirit intervention. Now, obviously, you want to hear the messages, I'm around you, I love you, and of course, that goes without saying. Your brother's there with him, and there's other spirits with them as well. But what he is telling you, he's intervening and telling you, be careful when you're driving. He's looking out for you because he said that you tend to be careless, and particularly in the wake of his death, you're not paying as much attention when you're driving, and that you could get into you're going to get into a serious accident. And he is intervening now to prevent that from happening. All right, Dr. Pat.
I want to know what you think about that, because this is really the transition for me. I love what Mark said, but I also love the idea of, I'll tell you what happened to me. As I'm listening to both of you, right? And Mark is talking to you. What did you say exactly? Vibration or something like that, right? You were talking about that, some kind of shock
the
or vibration.
shock wave, the neurological
or
shock.
tingling.
Tingling,
Here's where I went, right? I am what did you call it? Grandfather type driver? Right?
Grandmother,
I'm the grandmother. Linda is my best friend who's picking up the phone. She should have been a speed racer. So the minute you start talking, I'm thinking about what it's like to drive in the car with Linda in the Pacific Northwest, where she's not from, right? Driving down the street at a 25-mile-an-hour deal, thinking she is on the New England Thruway. And all I could think about is my body started to shake. But that's just like a little sidebar. The message is, I think, let me ask you this. Are you having fun in your life right now?
I mean, after my husband passed, I bought a brand new car. I wanted to start over. And
what kind of car?
2014. Yeah, I did. I got rid of the 2014 and got a 2021, not intending to buy a brand new car at all. But since the new car, I absolutely do not text and drive. Absolutely not. But have been a little bit more distracted with the phone in the car. And now these new cars, if you go over the sideline or the other line, it goes beep, 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 and I've been getting that in the car. So it has been enlightening for sure.
Yeah. So I have one simple message for you if you want to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's real simple. Look, you deserve to have the speedway of life in your heart. You deserve to have your life's desires, right? And I think what Mark was saying about the message, sometimes you got to keep them in your heart and off the road, or keep them in your heart and not be distracted. But more importantly, if you want to have the most incredible time of your life, you have to be fully present in the moment.
Yes.
And you will love every second of it. I guarantee it.
Yes, yes. I feel like I am pretty much fully present, and I do meditate. I meditate twice a day, actually, morning and afternoon.
Wow.
Spiritual. My husband was very spiritual. He was. We meditated together. Anyway, so
I'm talking about fun, though. I'm talking fun. I'm talking about the fun in your life. You know, every
Thank
minute that
you.
you're driving that brand new car, every minute that you do something great for yourself,
Thank you. Thank you.
every minute that
Yeah,
you say, I might get my nails done, or I might go out with the ladies, or I might do this, enjoy every second of it.
Yes.
And don't do
I'm
anything
trying
you
to.
don't want to do.
Definitely not doing that. I'm definitely
Okay.
honoring myself and forgiving myself and just moving forward. And
Okay.
I so appreciate all the work that you guys do, and
Thank
your
you.
show. It's amazing. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Brett.
you.
We
Look,
appreciate
I'm telling you, you're ready to have the ride of your life. Please enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
bet.
Pat. Thank you,
All
Mark.
right, you bet.
All right.
I want to keep rolling here, Mark. What do you
Let's
think?
go.
Do you need
I'm-
to have something to drink? I got like black coffee in the evening.
I
That'll
got
keep me
my,
up
my
all
green
night.
tea. I got
What
my
do you
green
got in
tea.
that bottle? Hold that bottle up. What is that?
Those are astronauts. And you know what? Where I got this, I was in Houston and I was doing a public event, and this young man came up to me and he gave this to me. And I said, well, thank you. I appreciate that because I like astronauts and space and all that. And he said, the last time you were here, you called on me at a group event and you said, my grandmother told me to go ahead, take the leap, have faith, start my own business. And he goes, and this is what I'm selling, and my
Wow.
business is taking off. And you know what, Dr. Pat, every time I go on tour, I bring this, you know, and it meant so much to me. So
I'm just wondering if you really do have green tea in there. Jessica, who do we have next?
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Georgianne from Texas. Georgianne, you're on with Psychic.
Hi,
and the Doc.
Georgianne. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are y'all? Hi, Mark.
hey,
Hi, Dr.
Georgianne.
Pat.
How are you?
I'm fine. A little nervous.
I got to get me some barbecue from Texas, though.
No,
Oh, I
shit.
tell you, we've got great barbecue
I
here.
know you do.
I love Texas.
Best barbecue I've ever had. Oh, don't let my folks from the South have me say that. How can we help you today?
Well, I was wondering if I had any messages from the other side. I have been really feeling antsy, like my energy's changing. I
Yeah.
feel like there's something big coming up for me, but I'm not sure what it is. I've been reading my Bible. First time I've gone through the entire Bible, so I'm working through that with my husband.
Nice.
And then I got another book about how to talk with God. And it's really strange. I love baking, which I know that's kind of getting off of it a little bit. But when I was reading this book that I just received in the mail, and I thought, I've got to start reading this, and I couldn't stop. And my neighbor who I baked for, she came to the door to return some items, and she said, you know, I found this gift, and it just spoke to me, and I said, this is for you. And I came in and I looked at it. Now, I love baking. It's my passion. And it said it was this really neat boa, baking boa that said, and she baked happily ever after. And of course, it really brought a lot of emotion to me because I love to bake and I love to give it away.
Yeah.
And I know
And I
one
got to
day
tell you, I know Mark's going to jump in here in a second, but those
Yeah,
events
and-
that you lined up, let me just say, those events you lined up, there's something that happens when you read scripture. I don't care, you know. I mean, they're just something. But when things start to line up like that, that is what we call love connecting. Love connecting.
Good. Okay, good, because I was picking that up as a message.
Yeah.
And even if it's just a hang on that I'm going to have good changes in my life, I'm going to
Yeah.
get a job. I really want a job to fund my dream for baking. That's what I really want it for. I really want to get back to what I was doing before I lost my job. So
Yep.
to me, I mean, I know it's bad to just say any job will do, but I want a job that God wants me in, and that's what I've told him.
I would
I'll
jump
let y'all
in here,
talk.
but I want Mark to go, and I
Yeah.
hope he saves me a few minutes, because I'm going to tell you what happened to me after I lost my job for 24 years, and I'm going to tell you that everything is divinely connected.
It
Okay,
is.
great.
I got
ahead,
a
Mark.
story there too after you,
Go ahead.
Dr. Pat. Okay, Georgianne, there's a male energy coming through, and this guy, he's projecting smoking a cigarette, and he's like really kind of cool. But I'm smelling a lot of cigarette smoke, and he feels connected to you through your male side, your father's side of the family, and he's got a very paternalistic way about him. And I'm getting a burning sensation in my lungs. I'm getting like toward the end. So this could be emphysema, could be what was it, COPD, emphysema, but I'm also getting a burning sensation and pain in my ribs. So definitely there was a major pulmonary issue with him, and now I'm getting this feel like a punch in the pit of my stomach. So he was also having major problems with his stomach and digestive tract, going all the way down into the colon prior to passing. And I'm getting a draining sensation throughout my body, which is an indicator that his passing took some time. Does any of this make sense to you?
No, it would have been on my father's side, you said?
That's who it feels like, but does this make sense to you on either side? Could be an uncle, but I get this paternalistic, could be a father, could be a grandfather. This guy, lung problems, it feels like he had cancer, is what this feels like to me.
No, unfortunately.
No, he's here for you. I need you to start thinking broader parameter here. Broader parameter. Is your dad on the other side?
He is.
Okay.
And he wasn't a smoker, though. That's what kind of threw me.
Okay.
But
This guy's definitely a smoker because he's doing I'm going to be talking to you. You know how like he reminds me of like this old movies like with Lee Marvin and Steve McQueen, you know, where they'd be like smoking a cigarette and then they'd point it at you. All right, there's got to be somebody in your family that fits that description. Okay. While you think about that, let me give you the message from him. He is focusing very heavily on your liver and your kidneys. And I know that, you know, you feel change and all that's going on in your life, but there's something going on with you physiologically that is affecting your liver and your kidneys. And I'm feeling a lot of pain, in particular in the left side, the lower left side. Are you having have you ever had a history of kidney stones, kidney issues? But I'm getting this whole kidney thing and liver going on with you.
No.
When's the last time you had those checked?
Been a while.
So write down on a piece of paper in front of you, schedule appointment for blood work. And here's why. This is spirit intervention. You're cooking up some kidney stones. And look, I'm just going to come out and say it. They're talking about your liver, and it feels like a fatty liver. And that doesn't mean that you're, you know, obese or anything like that. A fatty liver. But they're telling me that there's too many impurities in your body and you're not drinking enough fluids, or at least the right kinds, to flush all of these out. So they are imploring you to do this, okay? Is there a Fred or a Frank connected to you in some way?
Fred or Frank?
Reason being is I'm seeing the image of Saint Francis of Assisi, and what that indicates, maybe you love animals, but it could be a Fred or a Frank. But when I get images of Saint Francis, he's a very powerful symbol, very powerful avatar. And this could also mean like a memorial garden, because a lot of people put like statues of Saint Francis in their memorial garden, but it could be a Frank or a Fred or a Francis, or a love of animals. But this is getting projected to me for you. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you.
Okay.
Great. So I want to talk to you. I know we only have a few minutes left, but I still want to chat with you for a minute. What do you like to bake?
Anything. I mean, I've really cheesecakes was my passion, and now I've broken off into bread, and I had a great-great-grandmother that was really good at baking bread, so I asked her to help me be really good at it. And so I've been making things like English muffins and taking them to my neighbor, and she's like, wow, my husband's having a fit over them, and he doesn't even comment on things. So, I mean, it makes me feel good. It's, you know, I know my baking is therapy,
Yes.
But I was just hoping to use it, to help other people too, to cheer them up, and I've just used it for things like that.
And this is what I want to say. When I lost my job after 24 and a half years, I had always dreamt to go back to school. And I'm a kid that grew up in the Bronx. I mean, honestly, when I got out of high school, they literally graduated me because they felt so bad for me, I think. But what I'm trying to say to you is those moments in time in my life, even after losing my job, 6 months before a pension, the creative energy that came forward was unbelievable. And I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast without any rhyme or reason as to why. And when I got here, I realized why. The creative juices here, I started to sketch again. I started to draw again. I started to do those things. And what that allowed my soul to do was to open up, not worry about the job. Job loss is a bummer.
Yeah,
I don't know, I mean, I don't know how else to put it. And it constricts us. What you're doing, baking and gifting and paying it forward, that opens your heart. It keeps it open. And what it allows for is the infinite world of possibilities for you. And I want you to hold on to that thought.
Okay.
Because dots will start to get connected for you. I just want you to be alert to see them. When somebody says they love your English muffins, wow, that is something to really make mind of. Maybe you take some of them to a local bakery. I don't know. But if you hold on to the love and the unlimited possibilities, right? And
Right.
you do what you said and talk to God, you will get your answers. Just be mindful of not getting constricted by fear, because
Okay.
you're a shining light.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah,
You're a
'cause
shining light.
I love doing it. It every time I talk about, like, I went on a job interview. This is real funny. And the interview was going good at the end. They talked about their hobbies, and I told them about mine and showed them a flyer I had of my cheesecake, and she said, I think you need to go work at a bakery. Like that. And I thought,
Well,
oh,
there
wait a
you
minute.
go. So that's what you need to do. But before that, you need to make an appointment with your doctor. So
Yeah,
Okay.
that
and
you have the
let me give you a
physical
tip about the
energy.
next interview you
Yeah.
do. If you go on a next interview, bring a piece of that cheesecake or a cookie with you and say, man, I just happen to have a cookie. I tell you, this is one of the best ways to get yourself a job. I'm just
Well,
serious
you know
about
what?
it.
I had
I mean,
talked.
I used to
I had talked to the-
coach people. I used to
One
be a
of the
career
things-
coach, and I swear I had somebody else that used to bake like you, and I said to her, you need to bring the bacon at the end of the interview. When they ask you about your hobbies, you just bring it out. Thank you for calling in. I may
All right,
get to
thank
do
you.
some baking myself. Thank you. Wow, Mark. Wow. Wow. She
Yeah.
was talking about bacon, and all I could think about was the cannoli.
Oh.
Grandma's cannoli. I don't know. We have about maybe 2 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get a
It's
reading
gonna be
in.
hard,
then.
Jessica.
Okay, so yes or no to that.
Let's do a yes. Let's see what we get.
All right, well, we're gonna call this like a super duper speed
Quick reading. Okay,
Let's
what do
do
we
it.
got?
All right, we're going back to Melanie from Seattle. This is your super duper speed reading. You're on.
Go ahead, Melanie. Go.
Hey there. My husband died in the hospital, and I wondered if it was a mistake. He had asked me to make sure during the procedure to take the trach tube out, and the doctors decided to keep him sedated that night. And Marky read for me and about my father popcorn, and because of that, I ended up having gallbladder surgery. Then they found a tumor in my stomach.
Right.
which
I
I'm going back
remember
for.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going back to the hospital. They're removing a benign thing from my stomach, and in the course of this, I've been having PTSD because I keep remembering my husband telling me to take out the trach tube, and he died because they decided to keep it in and keep him sedated. And so I just wonder if it was meant for him to pass or if it was a mistake.
All right.
And I just
First off, I'm very, very sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
What he's telling me is they had the trach tube in, but I keep getting like massive fluid buildup in his lungs. And it feels to me that no matter what, whether they had the trach tube or not, because there was a lot going on, not just with his trachea, but I feel that the capillaries in his lungs were actually breaking down. It's as if the inside of his lungs were liquefying. So he's telling you, like, be not troubled. He doesn't want your heart being distressed. He said that's when he was going to go. And now he's jumping over to, he said that he is with you and been guiding you on these procedures that you're going through, and that this procedure that's coming up, which is involving your stomach, he said you're going to be AOAAK. So you're going to be fine.
Great. Thank you. He'd had a massive heart attack, and they were doing different things, and then he regurgitated blood into his lungs. So
there you go. The capillaries, if the capillaries are breaking down, there's going to be blood in your lungs.
Yeah.
What it feels like, I wish we had more time, but basically lungs were liquefying, and he wants you to know, he's holding up a stopwatch, and he said, that was my time. He said, so don't you fret. Don't you fret. He keeps saying, don't you fret. Did he ever have a guitar or something?
What's that?
Did he ever have a guitar or something about a guitar?
I
want you to think about that. Just he's saying fret. I used to play guitar, and it feels like something with a fret on a guitar. But don't you fret also means don't worry. All right.
He loved the Beatles. He loved the Beatles. Yeah.
Oh, he loved the Beatles. Okay, there you go. My favorite Beatle was George, the guitarist. All right, so.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie.
Well,
thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for your help. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. What a great show, Mark, right? Mark, what's your personal message? What do you want to leave everybody with tonight?
Take care of yourself first. And that's not selfishness or narcissism, because we all want to help those we love. But unless we take care of ourselves, okay, then you're not going to be much use to anybody else. So that's my message. Your health first, then we help everybody else.
Wow. Thank you. Mark, what's your website? How do people get a hold of you?
evidenceofeternity.com. And everybody, Dr. Pat and I will be back next week. We've got a lot of great guests in the next couple of months. This is going to be exciting. So see you same Transformation Talk Radio time, same Transformation Talk Radio place every Thursday.
And boy, I got to have me some baked something now. All right, everybody. See you next week. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.